Everybody loves a pimp. Shout, shout, tabernacle, tabernacle, preach, preach. Everybody loves a pimp. Shout, shout, tabernacle, tabernacle.
That sound marks the start of another episode of You Ain't Shit for Watching. Thank you for tuning in. Difficult conversation for me today. We're going to talk about Gorgeous Dre, why he's a hater. Alright, so Gorgeous Dre, also known as Andre Taylor, he is a former pimp who turned to Christ, right? That's typically the way these pimps do. They turn to Jesus. And from there, he became a life coach. He does have a Instagram. He does. I'm not quite sure if he does a podcast. What I do know is he has his own OnlyFans, and he's a political activist. This nigga's really all over the place, right? I grew up watching this dude from American Pimp, and I remember thinking, wow, this nigga has a way with words. He's a crafty ass nigga. And from that, I chose to pick up the game from this dude. Dude was always on manhood, valuing yourself, etc. A lot of good teaching, a lot of good things. Oftentimes with pimps, right, when you see a pimp, cold ass stomp down pimps don't really retire, right? They just switch their pimping. They just switch and find another type of hoe, right? So he went from being a pimp, he got arrested, thrown in jail. Then he learned to pimp the congregation. This man used to be on TBN. I believe he was on Maury. He started preaching. Pimp the congregation, right? And then when this YouTube shit and the social media shit started to kick off, he dropped the pimping the congregation and chose to pick up the microphone and start doing these conversations online, interviewing dudes, being a life coach, right? Pimping people. At a certain point, if I'm not mistaken, he had an older brother just released from prison who got shot up in Seattle. At that point, because of that, he turned around and became a political activist, started pimping the government, the local government, being a politician, pimping the people, if you will, and somehow got himself to the title of Street Czar of Seattle. Now, this is a cold nigga. The nigga's cold. The nigga really went from prison, pimping, to being the street czar. That's some powerful shit. Do you know a nigga who's a street czar? I sure the fuck don't. So I say all that to say this. It's really confusing to see that this nigga would do all of this, have his own lane, and then crash, hop the curb, and jump into Kevin Samuels' lane. Just being honest, it confused the hell out of me because this isn't the dynamic that I'm accustomed to seeing from this nigga. I've been watching him since I was 16, American Pimp, way back when, right? All of this was a shocker, but the more I watch this video, and I'm going to show you the video in just a moment, and I'll hop in with my commentary here and there, it became apparent what he was doing. So without further ado, Gorgeous Dre.
I done heard something that your boy Kevin Samuels said that pissed me the hell off. Is that your king? Well, let me deal with your king. The man said of his own mouth that if you are 85, and he was comparing it to gasoline, you know, some people pump to 85, some people pump to 89, some people pump to 92, and he went all the way up to 100. And what he's done is categorizing people like cattle, our people, black people.
My nigga, you're a pimp. Like, really? Categorizing people? All pimps talk about is pimps, hoes, square bitch, tricks. Is this the hill we dying on?
Like they're cattle. If you are 85, you'll never have access at a 92 or 100 type of man. If you are a woman with a baby, it disqualifies you from dealing with a man who is quote unquote a what the are you saying? And who the do you think you are? he aligns himself with white supremacy. You might as well say because you're black. No matter what degree you got, no matter what achievements you have, you can't be around us. We won't accept you. That's white supremacy. And if you...
Alright, so peep game. Remember when I told you earlier, pimps don't retire? All he's doing at this point is trying to pimp you. This nigga pimped the congregation. This nigga pimped Seattle. Now he's pimping you. What's likely going to happen is a bunch of black women and a bunch of sucker ass niggas who are going to fall for the okie doke are going to listen to the words that are coming out of his mouth and associate this with the truth because he brought up white supremacy. Now, Kevin Samuels at no point has ever said nobody will ever want you. What he stated is men with standards, value, and a lot of options ain't gonna go for the lowest hanging fruit. That's just what it is. So for him to do this nigga is being deceptive and he knows what the fuck he's doing. But watch, he's tying this in.
You believe that shit. If he got you believing that philosophy that he has that lines up with white supremacy, if he has you believing that, then you're going to be reduced and submitted underneath that shit for the rest of your life. You might as well not even try to attempt to do anything according to him. According to that philosophy that lines up with white supremacy, you might as well not even attempt if you've had a child or if you come from the ghetto. Fuck you. Fuck you. And who the hell you think you are? I'm not attacking the man, I'm attacking the message that the man is bringing. I will not.
Not only is he attacking the man and the message, he is basically he's painting this picture so that you have a dark, dreary road. And if you're driving down this dark and dreary road, you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't have any options. Kevin Samuels is saying this, and oh, woe is me, and you're in this worst position. But guess what? I can help you. I'm the truth, the way, and the light. All you gotta do is spend $30 to come on to my OnlyFans. That's right. You can see me get on flights with my wife. You can see me hanging out in Cancun. But just pay $30 for it, even though it's on my Instagram for free.
Not allow you to categorize our people like cattle. I'm telling you, you can come from nothing because I come from nothing.
All I had to do was put my foot on a bitch's neck.
We don't even think that way. Let me tell you something. I don't align. I create and I conquer. The more you align yourself with white supremacy and believe what white supremacy is saying about your life, because white supremacy said your lips were too big. White supremacy said you were ugly. White supremacy said you were black. And because of all these things that white supremacy said that you could not be, that's the same kind of message.
White supremacy said your hairline was missing, but you sprayed that motherfucker in.
That this boy is having. Don't you believe that demonic shit that suppresses you and oppresses you? Don't you believe that? I'm a living witness that with this information that I share, you can come up out of the lowest gutters because I did and be anything you want to be. This Friday, only on my OnlyFans page, I'm going to dismantle white supremacy for you. I'm going to dismantle it for you. I'm not going to let you stay slave to this message that's being perpetrated to our people all over this country. My OnlyFans page only.
That nigga was serious. That nigga was serious. My OnlyFans page. See what I told you, watch for the hook. This nigga went from pimping the congregation to pimping you. Pimping the woke community. Now, I want you to understand what he did. He offered you a solution to the problem that he created, which was Kevin Samuels, right? The solution was to go to his OnlyFans, to go to his platform and pay him so that you can get some of this pimping. I mean, prevention for dealing with white supremacists. I told you the nigga is cold. He's got a way with words, but he's no leader. No leader in no shape or form. So if any point you are looking for him political advice, for help on dealing with white supremacy, that is not the nigga to go to. I'm gonna tell you, it was a funny story. When I was probably 8 years ago, so I was maybe 26, and he had put out a book, and the book was called Road to Paradise. He advertised it on a podcast, right? And the way he talked this book up, you thought this book had everything. He was like, I went from jail all the way to being on TV to preaching, and it's about the Lord and pimping. And you can get the book, and if you want to be a preacher, you can preach because it'll teach you about the Lord. Or you can take it and go be a pimp because you can do anything. And just the nigga was just talking so clean about this book. I remember being like, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and get the book. What could it hurt? A little bit of reading. Let me go order this book. So I go to the website to get this book. And do you know that this nigga had this book at the price of $900? That for me was the turning point when I said, oh, this nigga really ain't to be trusted. Eventually he had to drop the price of that book and get to reality, because nobody's buying that motherfucker. I'm sure he got a couple of tricks, he got a couple of suckers, but for the most part, people weren't paying $900 for no damn book, right? All in all, the point of this nigga's whole conversation today, his whole video that he did, is to ride Kevin Samuels' coattails. This is nobody's leader. If you're listening to the video and you think that it's a good idea to go over there, then you're his new hoe. Don't fall for the okie doke. I'm not here to go to bat for Kevin Samuels like he's my daddy or anything like that. But the nigga's speaking some real shit. And Andre Taylor's on some bullshit. I mean, call a spade a spade. The nigga's saying some slick shit in order to get you to come over there and pay him some money. So, it's up to you. I leave it in your hands. And at the end of the day, I could be a nigga who's full of shit. I mean, I can admit that. I ain't shit. But guess what? You ain't shit for watching.